Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome again. Yes, sir. Got some swag coming in, baby. That's right. Let him run. Welcome to our Let Him Run Happy Hour podcast. John, this could be a very happy hour podcast. We'll get
It
to
could,
that shortly.
yep.
This could be one of our more exciting podcasts of the year, perhaps, but not as exciting as we could be in 2 weeks, which exactly 2 weeks, John, is the biggest day, the biggest 2 days in horse racing, the Breeders' Cup from Del Mar, John, correct?
It is Christmas Eve and Christmas Day for an adult horse handicapper.
And we qualify as adult horse handicappers, John, that's for sure.
We do qualify for that.
So once again, we are Let Him Run. We're being seen now on Capital Sports Network YouTube. We are on X. We have information on Florida Sports Talk, Facebook. So we're continuing to grow and put our brand out there. I am Freddie York. I am with my partner, John Costin. Not traveling today, looking like he's pretty settled in at home, John. That's
Yep.
cool.
That's
Uh,
cool. Yep.
we will talk a little bit about our Breeders' Cup show coming up. Put some info up there right now, a little bit about what's happening because it's really going to be pretty special, John. We have two shows. The first show is going to be our traditional happy hour show on Thursday. I'm sorry, it will be a non-traditional show. It's going to be on Thursday at 7:30 to 8:30, John, with two special guests. I mean, this is exciting. I am excited as a horse handicapper knowing who these two guys are. John, can you comment on it without giving away too much info?
We could announce that next week, but two top-notch, handicappers that are known all over the internet and the handicapping circles, NHC qualifiers, Brisnet guys. It's just going to be awesome Thursday night show for that, and then our long show, our happy hour Friday, will be extended, and we'll have some fun guests from different parts of the country join us there. Great roundtable discussion coming up for Thursday and Friday. Don't want to miss it.
Absolutely, John. You are correct, and it's going to be a fun show on both days. As you know, John, I am a big fan and a user of the information from Brisnet, so I am excited and looking forward to speaking to another high individual who's involved. Maybe I'm underselling that by saying that, who's involved with Brisnet, and I'm looking forward to that very much so, John. So,
Yep.
well, John, let's talk a little about what's happening in the background right now. It's about 5 minutes, 3 minutes to the race. Uh, before we before we get into breaking down, because today we're going to break down um, at the after this race, we're going to watch Akina, and again, we're going to take a look at this race because John put together a pick five prior to the show early, where he is now alive to five horses. John, you want to comment on this ticket and some of the possibilities? And we might as well watch this live. This is pretty cool before we jump into breaking down and going through race 9 at Keeneland, which is on Saturday. The Lexus Ravens run a grade 2 7 furlong race, 12 horses, 3 AEs. That's going to be value, but perhaps not as much value as John might be dealing with right now, John. So give us a little heads up.
There was a carryover, as we talked in previous episodes. We look for carryovers. Yesterday, the early pick five had a $250,000 carryover. They bet almost $2 million into it today. So that 250,000 was the takeout, basically. So now we're playing into, a positive expectation pool. First race starts out with a first-time starter, $38 winner, beat a 4 to 5 shot, knocked out a ton of tickets. Next race,
Absolutely.
the 4 to 5 shot, we beat that with a what was it? 8 to 1, $17 winner or something. So it started out explosive right off the bat. It got crazy. And then we just tried to survive the next two legs and beat the favorites again. No favorites so far. So now if the favorite won, not that bad. So we are alive to 5 horses. And the route order for the people out there, if you're going to root along, is the 4, the 7, the 11, the 1, and the 10. So my route order today is 4, 7, 11, 1, and 10. Any of those 5 and they're all 5-digit payouts. So
I love it, John. And also,
if the 4 and the 7 come running, we're going to be screaming.
The show might be over.
It might be over. You might be on your own, Fred.
Hey,
if the 4 wins.
Did you create that? I like that term you just used, root order. I like that. The order in which to root for. Is that a John Costin term?
I put it out there to all my group bets, and I let everybody know because they don't know, as in depth as I am. I look at the probables, the will pay, and I figure out what's the best possible scenario for the ticket, and I put a root order. So that I always put it in the order that you're rooting. So if you're root for the first horse I list, then the second horse, then the third. If they're dueling down the stretch, you know who you want to beat who if it's R2 dueling. Let's hope we're in that position where 3 of our horses are dueling down the stretch and nobody close.
I think, John, we need to coin that term, root order. Root order. I mean, 4-7. What's the root order here, John? 4-7, 11?
4-7, 11, 1-10.
How long's the race, John?
Let's see here. I gotta pull it up. I think we are 7 furlongs on the dirt, claiming. Oh, geez, this could be anything.
Okay, here they go.
They're in the gate.
They're off.
And I'm trying to dodge the 3 and the 5. They took some money, which I don't have them on the ticket, but the 3 and the 5 were the ones I was scared about. And I did a little hedge, as we talked about earlier. The hedge is in case one of them win. I played some trifectas with the 3 and the 5 on top of my horses. But
what kind of fractions you got? The 22, is that 22 seconds?
I don't know. You might be ahead of me. I'm on TVG. I didn't get no first.
Like 22 seconds. Yeah, that's pretty quick for 7 furlongs. I think these.
Yeah, and the 5 is the one that's.
I'm on my phone, John. I don't want to.
The 4 up the rail would be beautiful.
The one's still moving pretty good, but I don't know who's coming here on the outside. Is it the 9?
Maroon, the 4, or who's that? The 3.
Oh no.
That's the 10.
Oh no. Okay. That's 10.
That's the 10. Yeah.
Well,
that was the
so we got a winner.
One, but it's a winner.
Hey, what's the lowest one?
Is what I say. 10 grand is 10 grand.
Hey,
that just paid my entrance to the BCBC. There you go,
Joe. Hey, John, congratulations, John.
Thank you.
And our producer, who runs Capital Sports Network, is going to be able to take that information and let people know that John, once again, knows how to bet these races, and right there it showed. And again, that 10 horse ran a very nice race, waited. There was a quick pace up front, 22 second quarter, and he won easily, John. Boy, he won by 5-6 lengths.
Yep. And now the good thing with Keeneland, they pay out 4 out of 5 consolations. So every one of my losing horses is a consolation price. Yesterday, I had the consolation 24 times. It paid $10. But now we had no favorites win. Yesterday, we had 3 favorites win. So today,
these consolations could be quite pricey.
If it pays $100 a consolation, I did go way more than normal than I normally play because I thought it had value today, and I thought I had a good grasp on it.
Well, you're correct. You're correct, John. And so the order was 10, 11, 1, 7. Wow, you had them all.
I got the consolation John. 20 times now. I got 20 consolations.
Wow. Good job. 10, 11, 1, 7 was the finish there.
If it could pay $100, that's another $2 grand. So makes
all
it
right.
worth it.
Well, hey, good job on that note. Let's keep that rolling this whole weekend. Today, tomorrow, Sunday, the whole deal. Let's go. So, okay, John, we're going to talk right now again about speaking of juicy races, speaking of Keeneland. So keep your eyes on Keeneland tomorrow as well. Well, John will probably put together a pick 5 that we'll have on our show tomorrow, which will be at 12:30. We'll do the late pick 5 at Keeneland tomorrow to give some information out on that. And right now we're going to talk about the 9th race at Keeneland tomorrow, 7 furlongs, the Lexus Raven Run at grade 2 on dirt, $400,000 purse, a big field of 12 horses with 3 AEs. So I'm pretty sure you're guaranteed to get a very big field with a lot of value, John. That's pretty accurate, yes?
Yeah. Before I get into that, one of our special guests for Friday, he had that pick 5 along with me, and we both had tickets on it, so we both cashed for 5 digits. So got 2 different people that put the tickets in and came up with the same information. So that's the Friday guest that'll be on the Breeders' Cup show. So
well, we need to be sure to bring that up again because we want to talk about how that ticket was put together, and we know some of the information about how it was put together. But that's great stuff, John.
Yep. And he's my good luck charm. When he's with me, usually I do very well. So they're all calling now. So I'll get back to them later. So, yeah, the Raven Run. At first look, I thought it was a 2-horse race. I thought, the 2 favorites really stood out and all.
Sure.
The more I'm looking at it now, this turned into really an interesting race. And I just can't wait to see
it. Could be some real value. So go ahead and why don't you start off, John? You're going to do the odd horses. Go ahead and start with the number 1.
Yeah, the one, Delightful Claire, Phil Bauer, Rosario on the rail. Ran against the big-time favorite here before. He ran right with him. So I don't like the rail spot here. It's going to be really tough, holding that position from the rail. So I'll probably fade him this time, even though he was only less than 3-1 against Ragtime the last time they met.
Okay. Number 2 horse, Vixen, ridden by Tyler Gaffalione, Mark Casse. I find this horse pretty interesting. I mean, the last 3 races he was in, he ran 3rd to Lush Lips. 2 races back, he ran 3rd to Nitrogen and Lush Lips. And the race before that, he ran 2nd to Vixen. I mean, and he's 20-1. And I mean, Tyler Gaffalione has not been on this horse before, which is not a bad thing. He's been working out very well at Churchill Downs. I think this horse is an absolute must use in your vertical bets here at 20-1, John.
Yeah, turf to dirt. Coming off the layoff since June, and ran with Lush Lips and Nitrogen. So, I mean, ran right there with them. So, if he comes back good, that might be one to use underneath in 2nd and 3rd,
Absolutely.
like the reverse tri-key type of horse.
Absolutely. Okay.
Number 3, Strong State, Al Stahl, 2nd time back off the layoff. Ran in that race with Ragtime and Delightful Claire. Basically sat at the back of the pack and then just, came running at the end, picked up the pieces, but Ragtime was long gone. Was 28-1 in that race. Now they're adding blinkers. And with the blinkers on the workout, I always look at that. When I see blinkers on, I check, did they have a workout since their last race? And if that workout was really exceptional, they worked them out with the blinkers on, and that might be something. This one doesn't fit that mold where it just, worked evenly, middle of the pack, 36 out of 61 workers. So 2nd time back, maybe. But I think going to fade this one as well, the 3.
He had blinkers on actually about 4 races back and didn't do anything with that. They took him off. They're putting him back on. So I agree with that. Jimmy Graham's only mount, so no big deal there, but I think he's a fade as well. The number 4, Volleyball Princess, ridden by Jose Torres, trained by Louis Linder. Again, I think this is a fade horse, kind of, has some early speed, could set up the pace for some other horses in the race. Did run at Keeneland one time before, only one of a few horses who has run at Keeneland. Worked out well last time, put in a 59-second workout, the best out of 22 horses at Parks. And so I think, again, primarily this horse is going to be a speed factor.
Pretty much agree with that. Yep. Well said. This one here, the 5, I find very interesting at 15-1. This is caught my eye big time. Aggie Ordonez, the first time this trainer is running a horse outside of California ever. Kent DeSormo, 1 mount at Keeneland all week long. It's this horse.
That's
so
interesting.
Now you're the 3rd back off the layoff, which is usually a horse's best, turning back to 7 furlongs. If you go back to the beginning, 2 sprint races to start her career, ran in the state bred special weights in California, ran into, Hot Girl Walker, who came right back to win, Rizzleberry Rose, who came back to win. Then they tried off a maiden, the Oak Leaf, grade 2 against non-compliant. Wasn't ready, didn't belong, 70-1.
No, not off a maiden.
They tried the turf, 4 races in a row on the turf, didn't disgrace herself, but then all of a sudden they put her back on the dirt and she reels off 5 in a row. So
Yep.
she might have found her way here. They gave her a little break after the May, and then they brought her back in the summer at Del Mar. Now it's their 3rd time back. They're shipping here for a purpose. So 15-1, I find really very
Pretty
enticing.
enticing.
So
And
it's a must-use A for me.
And if there's ever an example, John, you can comment on this. Is ever example of the light bulb angle when this horse got back on dirt? Forget about it. It's lights out.
Yeah, agree.
Number 6, Reputation, ridden by Lon Machado. Again, 15-1 morning line. Gustavo Delgado, good trainer. I'm not sure. I think this horse has won twice at the distance. I just think from a class perspective, a little bit up against it. Broke his maiden about 4 races back finally. Did that at Gulfstream Park. Ran in some small level stakes races since then. Ran into the Grade 3 stakes race at Gulfstream Park. Came in 3rd. Don't think the quality horses in the races that this horse has raced against would put a scare into any of the horses here.
Nope. Pretty much same thing I had for that one. All right, number 7, Maida. Brittany Russell, shipping in from Laurel. Husband Sheldon riding. Going 7 furlongs for the first time. Hasn't been past 6. But, the running style suggests that, could do it. But might be enough speed in here that, might get this one, a little bit messed up on the front end. But definitely somebody that I would not dismiss. And in my multi-race bets, I'm going to use, the Laurel shipper for Brittany at the big price. Will be double digits with these other ones in here. Like originally I said, I thought it was the 9 and the 11, but I'm definitely going to use the 7 in multi-race bets. Definitely worth a shot, and just keep getting better and better with the buyers. You don't
tremendous
know,
angle. The buyers going up and up. The tremendous buyer with the buyers going up and up. The other thing that I looked in my, or hopefully soon to be friend at Brisnet will like this. This horse in the field, there are other horses in the field that do have speed for sure. He's the lone E, again, which means he definitely wants the front, doesn't want to give it up. And I think that gives a little bit of an edge to this horse. And the other thing that I found interesting from reading the Brisnet forum information on that is, they talk about horses on E horses, or I'm sorry, jockeys on E horses, jockeys with the different styles of running, sprints, routes, etc. Sheldon Russell's coming in. It's his only mount. Of course, Sheldon Russell, Brittany Russell, I believe, are husband and wife. It's his only mount in this race. The horse basically, lost. The only time was his maiden race, which was in the mud. Maybe would have won that if it wasn't in the mud. Who knows? Didn't like the mud, couldn't stand up. Won all 3 in a row, and as you already pointed out, going up. And Sheldon Russell in sprints, I know this is that 7 furlong weird sprint, long extended sprint, but it nevertheless qualifies as a sprint. He wins at 32% in sprint races. I mean, his average, percentage is 26%. That's not horrible, but when he's running in a sprint race, it's even better, John.
Yep. Definitely must use there.
All right, number 8, Usha, 9-2. Going to be a lot of money put on this horse because you have jockey Irad Ortiz and trainer Bob Baffert. This horse is, coming in from the West Coast, 3rd off the layoff. Kind of, an interesting horse in the sense that just broke his maiden last out, 2 back, I should say. Then was in an optional claiming race, won again with Hernandez on him. JJ Hernandez on the last 2 races that he had won. Coming here from Del Mar, 3rd off the layoff. Bob Baffert does extremely well with that and many other percentages. If you look down at his percentages in past performances, certainly can't dismiss this horse other than the fact that class, he is out of Tis the Law. That's going to give him some class, some class to work off of. But I'm not so sure. The only thing I think is going to happen is Irad Ortiz is going to take a lot of money. Have to see how that looks at the window.
Yeah, number 8, Usha. I think, Baffert finally figured this one out. Obviously, $600,000 purchase. They thought, a lot of her in the beginning, 40 cents on a dollar, 70 cents on a dollar. In the maiden special weights, ran into Tenma, who is going to be in the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint. coming
Right.
up. So
Well,
that
yeah.
horse, was a nice one. And then they moved it from Baffert's Barn to Terra Nova to try to run for the New York bred tag and 65 cents on a dollar. She flopped there too. They gave her some time, almost, what is that, 8-10 months. Came back a whole different animal, grew up a lot. As we could see, these 2-year-olds to 3-year-olds
Sure.
grow up
Big
overnight.
time.
So this one might have grew up at the right time. And, I was going to dismiss it, but the more I dove into this and the pattern, this horse's
Okay.
entire life,
Sure.
could turn out to be pretty good. So you can't dismiss this one.
Absolutely. Okay.
Number 9, Ragtime. Man, this horse is almost perfect. Just, a neck away in that test stakes where, she got the lead in the stretch, and then Kilwin, who was sitting dead last, I was there that day live, and just ran by her at the wire. But man, did she dig in, and her running style is great. 7 furlongs. Obviously, if Hall of Fame trainer Bill Mott is running her strictly 7, means 6 furlongs is too short for her. And there's a reason he didn't stretch her out to 2 turns, a mile. So
Sure.
he's been pointing to the 7 furlong Raven run, since probably after the test stakes. They had it mapped out for the Dogwood and then this race here. So big time player, will be the favorite, deserving, and 3-1 morning line will be more like 6-5, 7-5.
Absolutely. And Bill Mott and Alvarado, whenever they're together, leave them off your ticket at your own peril. The guy's tremendous in stakes races, and Alvarado's riding very well, and not just riding well for Mott, but just riding very well. All right, the number 10 horse, I find this horse interesting. Simply Joking, trained by Michael McCarthy, ridden by LaFranco, Frankie Dettori. A lot of people I've been listening to and watching and reading are looking at this horse as, if you want to use the term, a wise guy horse. Frankie Dettori's only mount seems to be getting I don't know if it's his only mount. I'm not sure about that, but it's the only time he has ridden this horse. Horse is coming from Churchill Down, been off since May, but boy, is he working out lights out at this point, getting ready for this race. If you look at every single workout, has been a bullet. I know we've talked about workouts before, John. You like to say, if you want to see a horse put in some heavy workouts, but then maybe kind of chill out in the last workout or two. Is that does that concern you, looking at this horse who's been busting out each and every workout that he's had? September 21st, September 27th, October 5th, October 11th, bullet. Tremendous workout.
Mike McCarthy works him out usually fast. He's like a Baffert kind of work trainer. So that doesn't bother me. The horse is sharp. It's a tough spot to bring it back. Coming out of the Kentucky Oaks, where she took money. She was probably 3rd choice in that race, Kentucky Oaks against Good Cheer, and it's a very tough spot to come back. Asking to go a quick 7 furlongs against this talented field. So very interesting, but leave them out at your own peril. That's a tough one.
All right.
Quiet Side basically just ran every race in the lead up to the Oaklawn Park road to the Kentucky Oaks. That was nice route there.
Sure.
Always tries. She's always there. Kentucky Oaks, the wet fast, maybe she didn't like that. That track was very funny that day, and some horses totally hated it. But again, all those route races, and now you're going to bring this horse back. Maybe they could have brought this one back in and, an allowance race or something that, she was eligible for. But now they're, trying to go quick here against these horses, first time back off a, 6-month layoff, asking a lot. I thought it was a 2-horse race between the 9 and 11. The more I looked at it, the 11 I'm going to fade as one of the choices, and I'm going to use her defensively, but will not be one of my main leads at the low price.
We can talk about that too, because I kind of like Quiet Side, but we'll get to that a little bit more on the show tomorrow. The number 12, I think there's going to be a lot of vodka sold at Keeneland on Saturday. This horse, vodka with a twist. There's going to be a lot of people betting this horse just for that. But on the side of the kind of horse that it is, horse has a lot of races under her belt. It was raced 12 times. Won twice. Louis Saez is on and trained by Philip D'Amato. last out was at Keeneland, ran a pretty good race there. Couldn't quite close the deal there. It was a grade 2 race. Before that, she was in the Oaks as well, 7 furlongs. Ran pretty well there with Saez on this horse. You know, I think this horse, you got to take a look at it and see how you might want to use this horse in any of the options that you may have, whether it be superfectas, exactas, trifectas, or depending on what kind of pick 5 ticket you put together. I'm not sure I would leave this horse out, John.
You said Oaks. That was the Charlestown Oaks.
Oh,
Far
sorry.
from
Charlestown
the
Oaks.
Kentucky
Okay.
Oaks. A little difference there. Grade 2.
Not the same quality. Not the same quality. I agree with that. It was at
But
Charlestown.
ran good at the 7 furlong distance. So 3 seconds at the distance, a tricky distance.
Sure.
So yeah, that could be. But I don't know what the pace from out there. What kind of Saez is going to be aggressive and hustle from out there. Maybe gets himself hung out. There is some other speed in here, so I just find it a tough, tall task with the 12. Sticking around at the end.
Tough spot to be. Maybe some scratches bring her a little closer. We can check that out on our show tomorrow at 12:30. I got a couple also eligibles. John, why don't you kick it off?
Butch Reed sending Kappa Kappa, the Parks horse, who I probably seen go by me in the mornings working out. Definitely last first start and then the last start. But who did she face? Got a 90 buyer. But who did she face in that 8 horses in a state bred, Pennsylvania bred allowance at Parks? Basically all the horses that just broke their maiden, Pensy breds, which this is a really tough, tough ask for Butch to send this horse there. Gets in from the far outside post. Maybe he knows it's this good, but it's tough ask for me.
Well, let me ask you a question, John, and get your feedback and your experience. So horse puts up a 90 buyer. That's a pretty solid buyer speed figure in this race compared to some of the other horses. How valuable do you use that information? Even though the quality of the race he was in, does the buyer speed figure also reflect the quality of the race, John, or does it just give you a number that you have to compare to another horse?
A little bit. It goes with the quality of the level of the race. Usually, like a state bred race is not going to get the same high number as if it was an open race. Just,
Okay.
I've been part of some races where I thought I got a higher number and then it just didn't come back because of the quality of the race and all. So
Quality of the race.
90
Okay.
in that quality race, I mean, that's saying something. A 90 buyer in that race is pretty good. And that's probably why Butch is shipping to Keeneland for this spot.
Okay. So the number 14, Taliesin, being ridden by another Parks guy, Frankie Pennington, great guy, met him, super guy. He has ridden John's horse, I think, a couple of times as far as working out, and trained by Jacinto Solis. Again,
You got to hold off,
this
Fred.
horse
Fred. They sold the horse. I talked to Frankie this morning. He was going to go to Keeneland to ride. He was going to get in the race. So that looks like Butch's horse is going to get in. So the 14 was somehow going to get in the race, and they sold it behind the stables, and it's not going to run the spot tomorrow.
So he's scratch.
He's going to scratch. Yeah, he's not going to run, but they sold this horse behind the barn, reportedly for probably over 200,000.
Wow. Well, interesting because this horse is 3 for 3 at 7 furlongs. And this horse was number 1 prime power, according to our Brisnet friends. And again, number 1 prime power, you were talking about how the buyer speed figure stacks up depending on the quality of the race. Number 1 prime power, and I want to get some information from our friend when we talk to him on Thursday.
Yeah.
Number 1 prime power takes into account the type of races he's been in, the breeding, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a tough spot for a 12-1 to be not number 1 prime power, but he's out of the mix now. So we'll have to say goodbye to him. And that puts the number 11 Quiet Side in the number 1 prime power. So we've got to keep that in mind when we look at that tomorrow a little bit more. We got one more horse left, John. I believe that's yours or mine. I don't know.
You could take it since I didn't even print that last page out because I didn't think the horse was going to get in. So I didn't even print that out.
You out of paper, John? Did you run out of paper?
I ran out of paper.
The number 15, Tetaroa, actually sounds very close to a wide receiver on my NFL football team. Tetaroa McMillan, wide receiver, is having a tremendous job down there with the Panthers. T-Mac, anyway, ridden by Luis Saez, trained by Philip Bauer. 15-1 morning line, probably should be a little higher. probably definitely going to be higher if he gets in from that post, no matter how many scratches let this horse get in, John. I think it's going to be a tough ask for this horse. Again, Louis Saez is on. That's a plus. Jose Ortiz was on him his first 3 races. Hasn't really put up any kind of race that I can see that looks as if it's going to make a big impact here, John. So those are the horses in the Lexus tomorrow at Keeneland. The Lexus Raven Run, 7 furlongs on a dirt big grade 2 race, 400,000 in that race, John. So we'll take a closer look at some of those, or not some of those races, the races in the late pick 5 at Keeneland. John's going to cover that. John had a big score today that will be looked at a little closer at Keeneland. And the carryover pick 5, we talked about that in our betting strategies, John. So we kind of talk about those things because when they do happen, we need to pay attention. John paid attention, and it turned out to be quite a good day. And as you said, John, put a little bit of something away for the Breeders' Cup. Yes?
That's what I meant to do today, and it actually worked out according to plan. It doesn't work out like that all the time. When you make a big investment, you thought it had a potential to do that, and it's Keeneland. It always has potential, and it just panned out where, I got lucky and beat some favorites, went deep. The worst thing is when you go deep and, perfect example, Aqueduct, just the race just finished, 8-horse field. I hit the all button because I thought it was pretty much wide open. The even money runs second. I'm excited. Objection. They put the even money favorite up. I lose the disqualification. And the even money, I went 8 deep and catch the favorite. So not a good.
Who was the horse that got taken? What were the odds? What were the odds on the horse that got taken down?
9-2. Would have been a double digit.
That would have helped a lot. That was a pick
really
5.
Questionable DQ.
That was a pick 5.
That was a start of a pick 5. The start of the late pick 5 in New York.
Okay, so we'll be on air again tomorrow. Our podcast will be on Capital Sports Network tomorrow at 12:30, where John will cover the late pick 5 at Keeneland. I will cover the late pick 5 at Belmont. We'll talk a little more after the scratches that might affect Keeneland in terms of the also eligibles and any of the speed in the race, John. Again, just to review our big Breeders' Cup show, 2 weeks from, well, actually less than 2 weeks. Thursday night we'll be on air from 7:30 to 8:30 with 2 extremely special high-level guests. I'm looking forward to talking to them. Make sure you come on and subscribe, like our show. Come on that night, ask questions. I'm sure make some comments. They'll be glad to answer those. And on Friday, we're going to have our couple other special guests on our happy hour show, which will be a little extended from 3 to 4:30. So be sure to join us there. John, any final comments, my friend, before we close out?
No, I'm just trying to decompress a little bit here right now, and maybe I just put a late pick 5 at Keeneland in on a whim, so it doesn't matter what happens the rest of the day now. I'm set for the weekend.
Hey, listen, I agree with that, John. How about we'll talk again tomorrow? Congratulations again, once again. Always a pleasure to talk with you about horses, John, and we'll look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. So you have a great night. I'm about to go to Hibos right now to talk about our big golf tournament on Sunday. Your
Ryder Cup. Your Ryder Cup.
Ryder Cup tournament. The teams are going to be picked. There'll be some people who are not going to be happy, John. I can tell you right. But it is what it is.
Not happy.
It's all good time, and you can't make everybody happy. But once again, John, good to talk. I will see you tomorrow. And as we always say, John, let him run, brother. There you go, John. That's some good swag there, brother. Have a good day.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. See you tomorrow.